Hey everyone, I would like to invite you on my journey to build a brand new deck at my house here on the Sunshine Coast. My old timber deck has served our family well for many years, but it has truly run its course. It is time for a massive upgrade. Our family has had this timber deck for 12 years, and as you can now see, it has deteriorated and shows a lot of concerning issues with warping, rotting, cracking, rusting nails, and discoloration. I'm confident that my new deck is going to be safer, easy to maintain, last much longer, and look so much better than my old timber deck. The first step to building a new deck is making sure you have all the right approvals and consulting with a professional builder for their expert advice, especially if you're replacing an existing deck. After that, all you have to do is figure out how many boards you need, pick the color, and the boards and all the accessories needed will be delivered right to your door. To put it simply, a deck consists of three main sections.
The subframe includes posts, bearers, and joists. The main deck includes bullnose boards, decking boards, and breaker boards. And the finishing options include fascia or face boards and end caps for hollow boards.
It really is so easy now. Every Brite Deck purchase comes with all the accessories needed at no extra cost, saving you at least $500.
Accessories included are starter clips, deck clips, screws, drill bits, and anti-creep clips.
If your subframe is timber or metal, make sure to tell your sales consultant in advance so they get the correct accessories for you. If you're using breaker boards or fascia boards, you'll also need to pick up 8-gauge screws. You'll need standard woodworking tools to install the deck yourself. Everything else is included. There's a lot to take into consideration when planning the layout and style of your deck. Firstly, heavy sun exposure and extreme weather. You'll need to factor in the possibility of expansion and contraction as the heat or cold is absorbed. Secondly, ground clearance and drainage. The area under the deck should be at least 30 centimeters above the ground, dry and clear of vegetation. There should also be a gradient under the deck to allow the water to run away. I strongly recommend acclimating your materials on a level surface at least 2 days prior to installation on the job site. Acclimating the boards will assist with uneven shrinkage seen during and after installation. If you're dealing with a unique landscape, get in contact with us for assistance. I'm thrilled to be using the 140mm titanium range for my new deck, simply because it is the strongest and most durable option out there, and it looks fantastic. I've picked the fossil color because I love the natural way it looks and it fits perfectly with the existing color scheme of my property. The titanium range even comes with a massive 30-year warranty, which gives me great peace of mind. Brite Deck have been around for 23 years, so you know they've developed something special. Talk to the team at Brite Deck if you need help choosing the right board for you. When planning the layout of your deck, there's some important factors to consider.
Your supporting joists. Carefully assess with your builder the integrity of your joists. Make sure they're solid and of high quality. You can see here I'm reusing my old joists. There's quite a few ways joists can be arranged. If you're using a picture frame layout, make sure you have adequate support beams to handle the board width.
Check with the Brite Deck technical team to make sure that your joist span is suitable.
Breaker boards.
It's important to have an understanding of where the breaker boards will be located before beginning your build.
As you can see here, I'm using the existing joists and will be separating my deck with a breaker board right down the middle.
I strongly recommend using breaker boards rather than butt joints. Breaker boards are much more structurally sound, quicker to lay, minimize waste, and look better all year round.
Clearance.
When measuring out your deck, make sure that you don't have a short rip at the end of the deck against your house. You need at the very least 60mm clearance. You don't want to be stuck with a short rip. You can bring your bullnose board forward to compensate.
Fascia boards.
If you're installing fascia boards, they shouldn't be more than 300mm down or you'll need further support. Consult with our technical staff for more advice. The installation begins here. You'll start furthest away from your house using bullnose boards and starter clips. The first row is critical to your deck being parallel.
To make sure it is aligned correctly, you'll need to run a string line parallel from the house to where your starter clip screws are going to be. Place a starter clip at each end of the deck, ensuring they are 10 mm from the edge of the joists. Half screw them down to hold the starter clips in place. Now, wrap the string around one clip and run the string line all the way to the other starter clip. You now need to fix all the starter clips in line with your string line. Once you put all the starter clips in on your string line, carefully slide your bullnose board in. Then, check if it is parallel to your house using a measuring tape.
For the second row of boards and beyond, you'll need the decking clips on every joist.
Slide the clips into place as you can see here. Make sure to place a decking clip on each joist. For boards over 4 meters long, place an anti-creep clip at the center joist, substituting for the deck clip. One for every board. Place your second board in and make sure it is pushed in hard. Screw the decking clips halfway down for the length of the board and then place your next row of decking clips in before fully tightening. Screw the decking clips halfway down for the length of that board. Once your next row of decking clips have been screwed halfway, you can now proceed to fully tighten the previous row of clips. This method helps minimize the risk of your boards creeping out of parallel. And now your deck has begun to take shape. Double check every 5 boards that they are parallel to the house and make sure they are locked in place.
Now we're getting very close to the house and we need to be very careful.
Put your second last board in place and then measure out the last board to fit. Measure out the width of the final board and make sure you leave a 3 to 5 mm gap for clip installation. Rip cut down the length of your final board to size. Place your final board in without any clips. Now slide the clips in from one end all the way through. Slide all the clips up to each joist. Then screw them all in. Once these clips are secured, we're going to face fix our outside edge. I'm going to countersink 8-gauge screws at 450 mm centers to achieve this.
After all your decking is done, it's time to make room for your breaker boards and trim any overhanging boards.
Measure out the width of the breaker board, ensuring to leave a 3 to 5 mm gap between the breaker board and the edge of the decking boards. We recommend using a track saw to give you the best finish and avoid scratches. You will then cut all the way from the front of the deck to the house. To finish it off, use a multi-tool to finish the last boards that the track saw doesn't reach. Lightly sand the edges to make a nice smooth finish. Now it's time to drop the breaker boards in. You can face fix, but we will be secret screwing to secure breaker boards and be more aesthetically pleasing. Use a 3.5 mm drill bit to secure through the bottom edge of the board between the gaps of other boards. Fix down using 8-gauge screws. Secure with screws every 450 mm.
Now we'll be finishing our deck with fascia boards. If you're using fascia boards for added style, make sure you install them into the subframe and joist, never into the decking boards to avoid any expansion issues.
Begin by countersinking holes 25 mm from the edges. We will once again be using the 8-gauge screws. If you're installing multiple fascias in a row, leave a 3 mm gap on either side to accommodate for expansion. Ensure you're screwing into the framework and you are done. If you're using hollow boards with end caps, all you need to do to install the end caps is gently hit them in with a rubber mallet.
Now that we're finishing up, don't forget to double check that everything on your deck is secure. It's important to make sure that all your clips are fastened tightly. Sweep up any debris, take a relaxing breath, and thoroughly hose down your new deck. A surprisingly quick and easy build. New furniture, some styling, and the new deck is finished. This is what it looked like before, and this is what it looks like now. What a spectacular transformation. Thanks for following my journey in building the family's new deck. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I did installing it. If you've got any questions about the installation process or want some help to create your dream deck, then please give us a call at Brite Deck or visit one of our showrooms and we'd be happy to help. See you next time.